And she said it's been pretty fast paced for me as well. And we we have we have a lot of people that are on the move, partially because of summer and just because of lifestyle. So we will get we were supposed to have somebody else come in area, but she wasn't able to make it. And we're gonna, if you guys get a chance to interact with Becky online, do it. It's worth it. And anytime you're having a off day and you see what she's doing in district, it just motivates you. It keeps you moving in the right direction. So with that, I'm going to pass it over to Alicia, and she's going to introduce and go over the bio with Becky.
Okay. Thank you, Paul. Do a summary here of the bio. Becky Bennett joined the Trinity Rotary Club in 2006 and has been a member of that club ever since. She was an Interact student at Pinellas Park High School. Since joining, she was named Rookie of the Year in 2007 and Rotarian of the Year in 2008 and again in 2021. And she has served as club president in 2011, 2012, and again in 2021, 22. She does have a passion for the Rotary International Foundation, honored as a Paul Harris Fellow +8 and a member of the Paul Harris Society and Polio Plus Society. She has served as vice chair for the District 6950 Foundation and has served as the Area Foundation Representative Foundation Grants Chair for several years, District Scholarship Committee, and was a district conference chair for 3 district governors. She received the Rotary International Citation for Meritorious Service in 2021, signed by past Rotary International President John Germ. She describes her Rotary moment when she first went to her Rotary International Convention in Los Angeles, where she had the opportunity to meet Rotarians from all around the world. Is where she first saw the Iron Lung in the House of Friendship and realized the impact Rotary has made on victims of polio. And she has actually this year made her 8th International Convention trip to Calgary. So, and you'll have to tell us about that. In her professional life, she's a CEO of Lighthouse, the visually impaired and blind. And she has worked in the nonprofit sector dedicated to Pasco and Hernando County since 2004. She is a proud University of Florida Gator, yes, go Gators, achieving both her bachelor's in rehabilitation services and master's in health administration from UF. She's originally from Wisconsin, but yeah, so I guess she spends her Sundays being a cheesehead. I love that. In her free time, she loves to travel, attending live sporting and music events, and helping raise her nephews, Brendan and Joey, and bonus daughter, Nicole. So that is the skinny of the bio. Becky, the floor is all yours.
Thank you. Okay, I'm going to try to screen share. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yep. Okay, let me now try to put a slideshow here. There we go. Okay, so first I just want to say thank you so much for inviting me, and especially early in the year, so I can share a little bit about my passion and what we have going on at the district, and congratulate President Paul for being his very first meeting that I get to be at. So that's very exciting. Our theme for this year, my theme is let's not keep Rotary a secret. And our Rotary International president, the presidential message for this year was Unite for Good. And I was really excited when they mentioned that was going to be the presentation or the theme, because you just never really know when you go to the International Assembly what they're going to come up with. And I was hoping, oh, I hope it's something I can get behind. And when they said Unite for Good, I was so excited, because it's definitely my passion with Rotary is how can we all come together and support one another, whether it's internally within our club, working with other clubs, working with other community partners. And so Unite for Good was something I was super excited about, and really happy that that is our theme for the Rotary year. But first, I wanted to say thank you to all of you for what you've done for the past 20 years. This e-club has started 20 years ago, and when I was looking online at DACDB where all your members are, and seeing you're all over the country, which is really exciting to be able to connect with folks from all over. Some of the things that when I was looking through your social media and just from what I know of several of your members, that's really exciting about the E-Club of the Southeast and the Caribbean is really the how involved you are in some of the youth projects. And I know that I saw on your Facebook page that you had a fundraiser with the resort that was in the Virginia mountains to help raise some funds for the club. Really involved with S4TL and Rotary Youth Exchange with Suzanne Nielsen. I saw that the club has been really effective in some beautification projects and helping other clubs in other areas during some of the disasters. Also, it's all about book donations. And then, of course, you have some great district leaders in your club, including a couple of past district governors. So you have some great guidance. Part of my Let's Not Keep Rotary a Secret, I have a few different reasons, and I'm going to share some of that with you here. But first of all is that I really think it's important that we not be humble servants. And I know that's what when we join Rotary, it's not because we want a pat on the back or because we think that we want everyone to know who we are. But I beg to differ, and I really think that there's an opportunity for us to share what we're doing to have a greater impact. So as I work in nonprofits, and one of the things that we look at is when we're writing for grants is what is the impact that we're making in the community. And when you just look at the volunteer hours alone that Rotary does, the actual dollar value according to the independent sector right now is $33.49 per volunteer hour. So say $100 hours a month would be over $3,300. You times that by 12 months and 52 clubs, we're talking about an over $2 million investment that we're giving back to our community and back to our club. And I think if we are willing to share that and talk about that more often, we can have some of those larger partners that will come and support us and want to be part of not only our clubs of members, but continue to, just like Bill and Melinda Gates, want to support our fundraisers, support our projects, partner with us, larger corporations, even our community and government partners. So that's where and this is not even including the dollar value. I mean, many of our clubs are raising hundreds, thousands, and even hundreds of thousands of dollars to give back to the community. And so let's not keep that a secret and share it with everyone. Youth engagement is really important to me. And as Alicia said, I was an Interact student for 2 years at Pinellas Park High School. And I never knew anything about Rotary, which was a real shame because I was in the club for a couple of years. I really loved Interact, but I don't remember a Rotarian ever coming to my club meeting or talking about Rotary. And so that was over 30 years ago. But I'm encouraging all of our clubs and members to make sure that our over 26 Interact clubs that we have there, that they're knowing who Rotary is. Also, all of our clubs, we're all engaged in different types of youth activities, whether that's through scholarships, S4TL, Rotary Youth Exchange we're bringing back. We have 5 students coming from 5 different countries to District 6950 this year. So we're really excited about that. And even we have 2 Rotaract clubs, if you weren't familiar, in District 6950. And we just recently started some early act clubs. And if you don't know what an early act club is, that's for elementary and middle school. And it is the cutest thing I've ever seen. I went to a couple of their meetings, and this top picture here is the early act club, and they have a president and secretary treasurer. They have the 4-way test, and they take roll call, and then they talk about what is important for their school. And in this case, they were raising. They decided they wanted to collect food and supplies for dogs and cats at the shelters. So that was one. Another one they recently did at the end of school is they collected eyeglasses for the Lions Club. And so we partnered with them in order to, and they had they had thousands of eyeglasses that they were donated. And it was just adorable seeing these young leaders. They all have Rotary pins. They now have early act shirts that they wear, and they're really proud to share that. So not only are we wanting to share the information and collect the information that we have with our youth and let them know who Rotary is, there's a real opportunity with making sure that their parents and their family members know. I know, for example, the S4TL, when they come back to our club, and talk about their experience, a lot of times our parents are in tears because it made such an impact on their leadership. And so that's a great opportunity right there to talk about Rotary and see if they would like to come to one of our fundraisers, come and support one of our events, participate in a service project, or even become a member. And so one of my goals is to have a youth summit. So that is where we will invite all of our youth, so our Interact, Early Act, Rotaract, S4TL scholarship recipients, to come together and to have a one-day setting where not only they're going to learn about Rotary, but we're going to learn about them and learn about the different projects that they're doing that we can support one another. The next thing about let's not keep Rotary a secret, Alicia talked about the first time I saw the Iron Lung when I went to the international convention. And this was really impactful for me because I was fairly new in Rotary, and a couple of the members were talking about how they were going to California for a convention or for some Rotary meeting. And I'm like, really? I've never been to California, and I love to travel. So I'm like, oh, I would love to go. Can I go to this meeting with you guys in California and Los Angeles? And so that's when my eyes opened to the world of Rotary and seeing people in countries that I never even knew existed when they do the flag ceremony across the stage. And then you go into the House of Friendship and you meet folks from all over that all have their Rotary beautiful international clothing on, and they have these projects that they're working on. Well, while we were walking through, that's when I saw this contraption here, and I didn't know what it was. I asked, I said, was this something from the spaceship, or what is that thing? And that's when my friends told me that's the Iron Lung. And of course, I didn't know what that was. And so they explained to me that is how polio victims would breathe and how they would treat them. And I never was able to really get that thought out of my mind, and how there's kids that would live in there and have to lay on their back, and that's how they had to breathe because they had polio. And it was really a time when I learned that this Rotary is something that's much bigger, and it's something I'm so proud to be part of. As I go around and I, talk about Rotary and polio, and especially with, younger kids and even younger Rotarians, they don't understand why we're have the fight against polio. And, even when I tell them, 11 million children around the world don't have polio thanks to Rotary, they don't understand. And I'm like, gosh, if they could only see that Iron Lung, then maybe they would understand like I did. And so I realized I can't take an Iron Lung around with me everywhere. But what I could do You're gonna see this. I bought these leg braces off of, I don't know if you can see them, off of eBay. And these are braces that were from a child who had polio. And what I've been doing is I take these to different groups, clubs when I'm meeting, and passing them around, as well as with the early acts and when we have tables at events. And this, puts that visual there of why it's so important that we're continuing this fight against polio. And continuing with the Rotary Foundation, it's definitely a passion of mine because I've seen, especially going to all of the international conventions, of the impact that it makes, not only locally but around the world. And the fact that I've worked in nonprofits almost my whole life, and a big part of that has been fundraising. The thing that impresses me the most about our Rotary Foundation is that when we give to it, a portion of the funds come back to us 3 years later. And it's really, I think all the time, like, man, I wish I could like go to some of my donors here at the Lighthouse and say, hey, if you give me $100 in 3 years, we're going to have $50 come back to us so we can do some more good. And that's really what happens with our Rotary Foundation. So I think it's something that we should all consider having as our charity of choice. But just to give an example, last year we had about $88,000, I believe it was, that we were able to distribute back into our clubs who applied for district grants. If we had every Rotarian that was giving in our district, we have almost 1,800 Rotarians now, 365. So $1 a day, that would be $657,000, meaning that over 328,000 would come back to our district that we would be able to distribute to do additional district grants. And so our past district governor, Derek, he came up with this idea when he was brainstorming this last year of this Club 365. And that's exactly what it is. If you give $1 a day, up to at least $1 a day, so $365 a year, and then there's over 1 billion people who live on less than that, then you get to become part of this Club 365 membership. And basically what that is at our district conference or district awards banquet we had in Clearwater Beach, he had created pins that are Club 365 pins, and that you can wear proudly and share. This is what it is. So it's like our Rotary pin or our Paul Harris pin. And I know that Alicia was there. Did you got your pin correct? I think so. But there was more than just Alicia from the E-Club. Oh, see, she's got it. We actually have quite a few people from the E-Club who qualified for Club 365. So I actually have the pins too. So I'm going to make sure you all get them. As long as your address is correct in DECDB, I'll mail these out to you to make sure that you have them. Vince, PDG Vince is one. Ray, I believe you're on here. I think was Andrew on. I can't see everybody anymore. Yes. So I will make sure that everyone receives their Club 365 pins. And if anybody is interested in learning more, I mean, it's really easy to make the donation online at rotary.org. What I do is I simply do the where they deduct it out each month, and then I sort of forget about it. And again, the funds, 50% of the funds come back to our district, which is a really wonderful. So congratulations and thank you, all of you, for donating. And finally, the last thing I have as far as let's not keep Rotary a secret is when I was selected to be district governor a few years ago, one of the things I kept thinking about is, why am I doing this? It's not because I like public speaking. It's not because I I have time, because I work full time also, but it's because I love Rotary, and it's because of those Rotary moments and the fact that things were people kept Rotary a secret, and I could have become a Rotarian long before. So some of my Rotary moments, I've already mentioned the Rotary International Convention. The other is my Rotary family. My little sister passed away 6 years ago, and it was a time where it was, very difficult. I sort of closed off. I didn't really want to answer the phone or talk to anybody, but it was my Rotary family that kept coming and knocking on the door and ringing, texting me and bringing food. And then when it came time for us to have our memorial service, they were the ones that handled the entire lunch at the church. And it was just amazing. And it was a moment where I was like, holy cow, this is truly my family. And that was one of my Rotary moments. My final Rotary moment that I want to share with you is right after college. My very first job was actually in Staten Island, and I worked directly with the CEO there, Dr. Passeri. And shortly after I arrived, there were a bunch of Sierra Leone refugees that the hospital, I worked at Staten Island University Hospital, the hospital was treating. And they were amputees, so the hospital was helping fit them with prosthetics. Well, not long after they arrived, they realized they couldn't send these kids back because, number one, they were going to grow and their prosthetics were going to have to be adjusted, and number two, the war was still going on, and if they went back, they would likely get killed for going back. So they were working on trying to find a way to keep them here in the US and get them adopted. And I remember I was like, oh, we just need to call Oprah, she'll help them. But I became very close with a few of the kids because I worked directly with the CEO, who this was his big mission, his wife, really. And so I would often babysit, and when you live in New York, you basically live in one room. So she would sleep with me, and she would have these horrific nightmares at night. And it was just, they learned English. It was just wonderful getting to know them. Well, fast forward, I moved back to Florida and become a Rotarian, and I get the Rotarian magazine in my mailbox. And this is what it was. And I was like, oh my gosh, I know that girl. This is one of the refugees that we helped take care of, one of the little girls. And so this is in 2013, but she was also featured in the Rotarian magazine in 2003 before I became a Rotarian and was living in Staten Island. And what I learned from this Rotarian magazine is that it wasn't Staten Island University Hospital that brought the refugees to the United States. It was actually the Rotary Club of Staten Island. And so I don't know how much closer I could have possibly been with these kids. I literally sleeping in my bed, and I did not know that it had anything to do with Rotary. And that was a real moment for me, and of why that it's so important for us to let's not keep Rotary a secret. Because I probably would have been a Rotarian 20, 30 years prior if I would have known about all of this great work that we're continuing to do. So one of my challenges that I've had for all of the club presidents is for this year is to make sure that we're sharing our Rotary moments and encouraging all of our club members to share our Rotary moments. You don't have to do it even necessarily in social media with videos and all of that, like I've been doing throughout the district, but even just talking about some of these things that are personal to you, why, what happened with that made you go from being a Rotary Club member to a Rotarian, and sharing that with other people. It'll inspire people to want to join, to give, and to be part of it. I did ask president to Paul to see if somebody would be willing to share their Rotary moment. And I can't see him, but oh, there you are. So do you have somebody that would be willing to share for us? Hi, PDG Will. You're on mute.
Okay, can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you now.
Okay, yeah, I put it out there. Maybe I needed a little more time for the
That's okay.
communication line, but I myself have a Rotarian moment where I was introduced to Rotary by way of vacation, and I was in New Orleans having dinner, and I said I was going to go to Costa Rica for 4 days, and a guy sitting next to me says, "Well, I want to go." So we met down there, and we shared an apartment, and we were just sharing costs. And he disclosed to me that he was the president of the Eunice, Louisiana Rotary.
Oh, wow.
So that was my exposure to Rotary. So then when the time came later in life, it's time to give back to my local community. I started looking around for a Rotary club to join. I went to a couple terror clubs, and I didn't really get the traction because my job being a boat captain, I was in and out, and I wasn't at every meeting. So I did get to go to 3 or 4 different terror meetings, and then some fundraisers that they have over in Citrus County. So I knew about them. I knew what they were doing, and I wanted to be involved. I just didn't know how to get in. So I really appreciate what you're saying is don't let Rotary be a secret, and then let's not make Rotary a secret club. So the good thing I do on my emails is I just say, ask me about Rotary and my signature. So if people are interested, I can tell them more. I did end up getting contacted by a stranger named Will, and Will said, "I heard you were interested in Rotary. How would you like to join the E Club?" And at that time, I had already got a Rotary number from one of the other clubs I was looking at. So we had to go through the whole process of making sure that I got in the E Club. And it's worked out really, really good for the last 2 years. I've made friendships and camaraderie ships with everybody. And I really love the way the E Club sticks together, even though we're distances apart. And I'm not obligated to go to the physical meetings because I'm physically not there, but I'm not excluded from Rotary. So this has been really touching for my heart to be involved in Rotary, and in a way that isn't traditional. So that's my Rotary moment.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And that's one of the things I think is so awesome about the E Club is that you can go anywhere in the world and be part of this club, but also there's so many Rotary clubs everywhere you all are located that you can really be part of so many different projects that are going on. I know Paul being in Citrus County, there's several clubs there, and so you can help out with the project there. But once you're a Rotarian, you're welcome everywhere. I mean, when I go to the international conventions, they see you with your Rotary shirt on. They're like, "Hey, come here!" Everyone wants to invite you to join them. So thank you so much for sharing that. The last thing I have is just to share that we are having our district conference and awards banquet this year in our district. So we will be having it at the last weekend in June at Trade Winds Beach Resort. And again, this is going to be both a district conference and the awards banquet together. So you don't have to reserve 2 different weekends and reserve 2 different payments and all of that. We'll be having a fun time on the beach, celebrating the year of not keeping Rotary a secret. And that's all I have. Again, I just want to thank you all for what you do. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to try to answer them. Dick,
Yeah, Becky, can you tell everyone the best way to get a hold of you in as a district, so that we can all interact at the district level and the club level?
Sure. I did I just took it off, but I did have my email and phone number on the screen, but I can type it in the chat as well. But if you go to DACDB, or you should all receive the district newsletter, my information is on the front page of that as well. And I did want to share that we do have a large team at the district level. Our district leadership team has over 35 people in it. And so if there's any type of projects that you're interested in, whether it's human trafficking or water projects, or you want more information about polio, and if you go to that, our district newsletter, our DACDB, we have that whole team listed there. And what I'll do is I do have Evie made a document that has a picture of each person and their contact information, as well as a district governor chain. So I can send that out to you, Paul, and you can distribute it or hold on to it. But it's a great way to bring in different speakers as well.
I think Dick Schultz has a question.
Well, I just wanted to say, Becky, I am so happy to hear about all of your experiences with Polio Plus and all the rest of it. I'm a 1941 polio, now in a wheelchair, but beside that, some 40 years ago, we started S4TL in St. Petersburg at the Hilton Hotel.
Oh, wow.
And that was, yeah, we were putting it together as we went almost in those days. And it has been an absolute wonderful success throughout the last 45 years, I guess. And so really appreciate all of your enthusiasm for S4TL and Polio Plus and all the rest of it. And look forward to working with you.
Thank you. I actually went to my first RAP sessions last year. This year it was during the International Convention, and next year it's also during International. If it's still on Father's Day weekend or Father's Day week, it'll be during International Convention again. But
no, Becky, it's actually the week before.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yes.
I might be able to go then if we're not extending. But what a great experience, and I've been wanting to go for years, and I just couldn't make it. And then last year when I went to the RAP sessions, I seen the kids and then talking about their experiences and coming back and sharing at our club meetings. I'm like, every kid should have this opportunity. Thank you, Vince.
Yeah, thank you very much for your talk, and especially polio, as Dick mentioned too. I would agree with him. I'm really happy that you're able to spend time doing that. Have you heard anything more on the administrative pilot program in Australia regarding restructuring of districts and zones, regions, whatever they may be calling in the future?
I don't have any more information on that. I am going to the zone summit though in a few weeks, and I imagine they'll bring it up. They did ask about it at the last zone. Actually, I guess it was International Convention. It must have been at International Convention. Someone had asked about it, and the presenter really didn't have the information at the time either. But I know it's a pilot, definitely a pilot program that they were. I had heard at one point that it wasn't going as well as they thought it would. They were but that was early in the stages.
Yeah, they're having a tough time in Australia with polio and the support clubs and the rest of it. I meet with those guys every month. And,
Do you?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that may be a reason why they're not talking about it. If it's yeah.
Well, the government was a major funder for a lot of this stuff, and the Australian government has now said no more. They've cut them off. So that's part of it.
They've cut it off for polio.
Well, and the support groups. There's 7 different support groups in Australia. Yeah, and they pulled the funding. So.
Okay.
By the way, Becky, when you're at zone, would you find out who the end polio now coordinator is for zone and
It's,
share his,
it's Jeff Mickelman.
if you have his email address, I'd love to get it.
Oh, sure. Yeah, they actually just had a polio meeting right before this at 6 o'clock.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So,
Well, see,
yeah,
they don't advertise. That's the problem.
right. I think it was for the End Polio Now chairs for the districts, but if you're interested in getting more involved, that would be great. Alan Collins, past district governor Alan, is our chair right now, but I know he could use some additional resources.
Yeah, I've worked with Alan for the last 6 years.
Yeah.
So,
We actually, I'm sure we're running out of time here, but Alan and I just met with a lady who I actually saw in the Tampa Bay Times here, where they were talking about vaccinations and different diseases, and there was a lady who, her name's Laura Duque, and she is an artist, and she had polio as a child, and now she's in a wheelchair as well. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, she lives in Clearwater. So I Googled her and found her. And so Alan and I, we had lunch with her in Countryside a few weeks ago, and she's such a wonderful woman. She's a real advocate for she has polio support groups, and so I think she'll probably be speaking. She's willing to speak at a upcoming district conference or a foundation seminar or something. So really, really amazing woman. Roseanne?
Yeah, thanks, Becky. I do want to mention, Dick, I know Jeff Mickelman because that's the district I came from before I joined this club. So if you need any help with connections there, I'm happy to help.
okay.
And I also just want to say, Becky, thank you so much. I really enjoyed your talk. I've been a Rotarian for 25 years, so I've heard district governors talking throughout over the years, and I just really appreciate how heartfelt and sincere and service-oriented your discussion was today, and it's very inspirational, so thank you, and just wishing you a wonderful year.
Oh, thank you so much. It's definitely different doing it on the screen than in person because I can't see everybody. So yes, thank you.
Yeah. Well, we're Zoomers, so we're okay. We know it's tough because we're right there with you.
Any other questions or comments for DG Becky?
Will? I think you're on mute.
Let me unmute here. Yeah, Becky, who with us approaching the peak of hurricane season, who is your disaster committee chair now?
It's actually PDG Derek Frontlets.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah, I was really happy about that because, as you know, he was very involved and he's sort of the expert in my opinion. So he said, I'll be happy to stay on. That's his passion.
Okay, good choice. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I can tell you that he was actually physically mucking out houses 10 days after the hurricane because the rivers rise a week or two after the hurricanes leave. And he's a great choice.
Oh yes. I mean, he was months after still coordinating and in people's homes, you know, because it hit over on the west side, and then, you know, weeks later it was the east side and down in Pinellas County, you know, I mean, our entire district was impacted.
I'm really happy about your choice for location for your district conference. I had mine there a little over 15 years ago when I was governor.
Oh, really?
I'm sure it's changed. I was in District 6960, as you know, in the Naples Club.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then I might need to pick your brain a little bit.
Yeah, sure. It was the first one out of the district in forever, I think. And I got a lot of guff for it, but it worked out. We had the same amount of people we always got. And I'm sure it's going to be really good there. So.
Well, Linda Vinson had hers there.
That's right.
And I remember it was one of my most memorable ones because she had a woman astronaut was one of the speakers, and then she also had a polio survivor there, paraplegic, who was very emotional. And then we just had so much fun. I mean, we had pool parties, we had like a pub crawl because there's so many different bars and restaurants that you had a card and you had it punched, and we just had a great time. So I was really happy that we were able to secure it.
Good.
But saying that, we when I do send you that information, Paul, we are trying to grow our committees within the district. So you know, we're fairly large, you know, 4 counties plus the E Club all over. And so if you have something that you're passionate about, whether it's youth or human trafficking, interact, we have the disaster relief, anything like that. I'm going to be having a session called Serving Beyond Your Club, and it's going to be a virtual session. And so we'll have some of these different chairs that have opportunities to serve. We'll be sharing about some of those areas and how you can help. I know peace polls are something that's been really going wild within our district lately. We've had I think 5 or 6 last year. Our Rotary Club did one. Citrus County, it sounds like they're doing one at every park up there now, and same with Pinellas County. So but they need support. They need people to help, you know, facilitate those, and you know, one person can't be everywhere.
Governor Becky, it's Andrew. Question is, Jeremiah still on it doing PR and marketing?
He is, yeah.
Sure.
I twisted his arm for 1 more year.
He's great. Worked with him the last year or two, and he's wonderful. And he's spoken to us, but maybe we could do more with him. Certainly, even myself for the club. He gave some great ways for marketing and PR and what we can do. And the E-Club, it's kind of hard. Well, it's hard for all clubs, but maybe we could do some more together with marketing and public relations. I know they're doing some great things in Zone, and 33 and 34, I've joined a few of those sessions where they're doing, you know, a lot. Plus there's an award that the club can get for, you know, the spotlighting and the marketing and whatever, which I think is always great. So I'm, you know, I'd love to help out more with that, and certainly with the club. But Jeremiah was great, and maybe some way that we can interact more with him and his team.
That would be great. And that's actually one of the teams that needs additional support, because it is sort of Jeremiah's doing most of it. We have somebody that's helping with the website and stuff, but he is requesting people that want to join the PRPI team to support the district would be great. And I did have one other thought about the E-Club is I don't know I know that our district, all of our clubs aren't familiar with the E-Club. And I remember, you know, when it was not when it started, because that was 20 years ago, but when they're always talking about, you know, the E-Club is a great way for Rotarians who are leaving the club for whatever reason, if it's work or related, or, you know, families, to them stay in Rotary. And so I was thinking it might be nice if one of you could do an article that we could put in the district newsletter, and I can help share it out through DACDB also, to let clubs know a little bit more about the E-Club and how, you know, we don't have to leave Rotarians. As governor, I get copied on every Rotarian that is terminated, that leaves, and I think, maybe we could do a better job of offering that before we terminate them. If, there is the E-Club. My club, Trinity, we have a satellite club, and we started it for the same reason. Is we meet on Friday lunches, and we have a lot of folks who could no longer come to Friday lunch due to changing jobs or financial reasons, and so we started the satellite club, which means 2 evenings a month, and so they're able to still be in Rotary and reduce costs. And there's actually been a few different clubs that have started like that in the district. We have an impact club now in St. Pete. It's with St. Pete Sunrise. They used to be St. Pete Sunset, and now they're an impact club with St. Pete Sunrise. We also have a satellite club that started in Seminole Lake, and so they meet 2 evenings a month. And then there is another E-Club that has started, but it's focused on technology. So it's called Global Tech and Innovators. It came from the Rotary Action Group. And so they're really focused on like cybersecurity and AI. And so that one has just got launched within the last week or two. But it's being sponsored by 6950.
That's good. And Becky, do you that club sounds really interesting. Is this helping? We always talk about this, and we have several PTGs, but something I always ask, and you would know, is this also helping with the under 30 or under 40 prospective Rotarians? I mean, we talk about that. Our RI presidents talked about that, how to get obviously younger Rotarians, not only from Rotaract, but people coming in and, really being part of the brand and getting a lot out of it. Whether they're millennials or even now thinking about Gen Zers and so forth. But is that really, I would think it's helping, but you have the statistics. Is it starting to be a good way to attract a younger Rotarian?
That's the purpose. It's a big part of it is how Rotary has to become more flexible because the number of Rotarians is decreasing significantly, especially in North America. We're growing. The reason why we're staying at the 1.4 million Rotarians is because we're growing over in Asia and India, overseas, but here in the US, Canada, the UK, Australia, we're decreasing. And so that's one of the reasons why Rotary International is trying to look at how can we meet younger and not only younger, but all members, potential members where they're at, so that this is an attractive thing for them. Because a lot of our Rotarians are leaving, and a lot of it is because of they're basically aging out. So
Yeah.
So I don't know if I answered your question, but yes, it is to help recruit people at all stages of their life.
And that's been going on for, believe it or not, I've been a Rotarian almost 40 years, and that's been going on for a good 20 or 25 of those years. Just been stagnant, and just trying to get, it's not just getting them, but keeping them, just keeping people involved. Younger people obviously got so much going on, multitaskers, so to speak, and with their job and changing jobs and getting in a career and whatever, Rotary might, in some cases, might be the end of their, the bottom of their list. And you just have to really keep them involved and motivated. And that's the hard part.
Right.
I know a lot of clubs do.
Yeah, we have to find what is valuable to them. What is their value proposition?
And Becky, one thing that part of that, and we've tried that, and is maybe sort of a mentor. If you get young people in, we've tried that different. I used to be in 6990 and 6950 now. But in some of the clubs, I remember when I came in, you talk about stories, I had a great mentor. And that's what really kept me in the club, and when, to groom me to be a club president twice, an assistant governor, and things like that. But the mentoring is really important, and I think we need to work and find those mentors and have them work with the younger people. I think they get a lot out of it, and maybe maybe calling it kind of a mentor program per se, and doing that well. A lot of that can come out of RLI and other places like that, but maybe in 6950, maybe we can earmark a real mentor program, um, finding and keeping and motivating young people.
I love that. I love that. I'm sorry, Alicia. I thought I was off screen share the whole time. Baron's sitting there looking at all my emails.
You're all good.
I can see all of you. I didn't realize it was
And
and just to add to that, I did and I included we have a Rotaractor. Our Rotaract chair for the district is a Rotaractor, and I've added him to our executive team because I wanted to make sure we had a younger voice on the team. So that is really one of the purposes with the focusing on youth is what can we do to inspire them and find out what they need. I know Daniel, who's our Rotaractor, that's what he says is what kept him in Rotary and Rotaract all these years. He was in the USF one before he started the North Pinellas, is the fact that he got 2 job internships because of Rotary. And so it's the connections that's helping him develop his business. And he went to S4TL too.
I think that would be great.
Years back, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago, the banks and the CPA firms and other professional societies, they paid the fee, the dues for several of their younger members to be Rotary members. And they supported the activities of Rotary. That might be a source of, we might go after those industries and say, hey, we need your guys and gals.
Mm-hmm.
They got cut off back then because, pardon me?
I was gonna say, and you noticed that I didn't really talk about membership that much. Personally, I know this is probably not public or popular opinion among like some of our RLI leaders and stuff, but I sort of feel that it's you sound desperate when we're constantly saying, oh, we need members. I feel it's more about let's keep the ones we have and share our Rotary moments, and then they'll come. And so that's really why my whole topic is, let's not keep Rotary secret, because I really believe that if we're all just sharing why we love Rotary, that the members will come that way because they'll want to be part of that. They'll want to have that same passion that we all have. So, and so by doing that, we also have to engage the younger members and help them, share their passions too. I have make sure you go to our Facebook page. Dade City Rotary Club did their Rotary moment, and this young Rotarian is now an attorney, but he was an Interact student and then became a S4TL, and now he's in the Dade City Rotary Club. And I never met him before. When I asked somebody to do their Rotary moment, he got up, he let me videotape him, and it's beautiful. So check it out.
Yeah, I just want to encourage everybody, if you can connect with Becky's online social profile. From doing that, I learned about India. And so when somebody said something like India is growing and North America is stagnant, I know that for a fact. And one of the things they're doing in India is they're letting people enter at that low cost level and then promoting them up to a full Rotary club. So they have a lot of clubs that are using the other branch of Rotary for the lower cost entry point. And that seems to be working for them. I'm not saying that's the right model for 6950, but I am saying that that you can see the broader Rotary approach and the different perspectives from around the world. And that just started with me what happened was I connected with Becky, and then for some reason, social media thought I should be connected with all these other clubs. And now I've probably got about 800 clubs in my follow list, which is pretty powerful because it's global and it's big and it's present and it's now. And I think the E Club and us, if we can embrace that a little bit, we can definitely grow. If we don't grow in numbers, we can grow as people, as individuals. And for me, that's the whole purpose of me being here, is one, to give back to the community without too much fanfare or attention, and two is to grow as a good individual. And I want to encourage everybody in our club and the people that's going to be in our club to reach out to me if you want to grow. If you have, just you need a vent, you need to, walk through something with me. Andrew, I open my email and my phone number to you. Reach out to me. We'll go after those youths, and I know how to do it. I've talked to my daughter about joining Rotary, and she's very interested. And what's cool is she works for Home Depot at home, and she just became the supervisor for all the other girls that work at home from Home Depot. And what they do is they do commercial accounts. So she did like $3 million in the Southeast region of the United States through her inside sales rep and her efforts. So they decided, since she had the high numbers, they were going to make her the supervisor. And that's how they
Wow.
made that single decision. So,
Wow.
the
That's great.
online thing and that generation is big. They embrace it. And just think, if my daughter, who's in her 30s, is growing Home Depot business to a multi-million-dollar commercial business, what can we do in Rotary?
Yeah. Paul, I
Yes.
don't know if you're gonna like this idea, but I was kind of really touched with what you were saying, and Becky might like this too, but as a professor of marketing and all that, what you said and how you said it would be a great, I'm not calling it a podcast, but sort of, Captain Paul, Rotary 6950 E-Club, and all the places you're going on the boat and getting off, you could do a minute vignette, Rotary Minute for our club, and interview people and whatever and where you are, like you're in New York State, Adirondacks, little history minute, and then talk about it and say, hey, if you want to know more, what we're doing and what we can do, talk to me, talk to the club and whatever, get involved with the district. I guarantee you will help us grow the club and the district by that. I mean, you're so powerful where you are, what you do. I was just thinking about it. I'm getting, goosebumps. It's something I think if we tried, it's going to be so powerful. And Becky's, I think, shaking her head, yes. I don't want to put you on the spot, Captain Paul, but I think you just did it for us.
No, I'm here, and I want to, maintain the servant leadership. That is the reason I went to Rotary. And the other reason is I can't do it all. I don't want to say myself, but I can't do it all as an individual. I definitely realized, after donating to several causes and helping out with county fairs, and I ran for county commissioner, I realized that, I can't do everything myself, and I need a small group of experienced seniors that know what they're doing. And then I need ambitious young people that want to know more and give back more. So it's a combination of giving back and common sense leadership and common unity. And then it's all about information integrity. As Becky said, let's keep Rotary about Rotary. And, and that's where we'll grow. As long as we're talking about Rotary to other people, we will grow Rotary.
Paul, I'll reach out to you when you have a chance. We can sit down and do a fireside ocean chat.
Yeah. I'm a 24/7 guy, man. So I'm online all the time. Reach out to me. Becky knows I chime in uninvited to her post, and and try to just be an encouraging word online.
That'd be great.
I appreciate the engagement.
Anybody else? Okay, so we want to thank Becky. I wanted to make the meeting about Becky and about her mission, and we're going to have area here too, so the meeting would have been fuller for that cause. and hopefully we'll be able to get Karen on here. Small world, I just laid some cable in New York, and I was there in Harlem River for about 3 weeks. And then it turns out Karen got married at the marina that we were docking every day, where we were doing our shift changes.
Oh,
She
wow.
got married at that park that overlooks the George Washington Bridge, which is the busiest, most commerce bridge in the United States. And it overlooks, like when you look, you can see New York City behind the bridge. So me and Karen have that, that little connection. So I encourage everybody in here to find that connection with another Rotarian, and and see what you can do to make that connection grow. Thank you
Great.
for the links, Becky.
You're welcome.
Okay, Miss Alicia, do you have anything else?
No, I think we're good. I mean, we could share with DG Becky that when I was at the Foundation Awards, I met up with young lady who's in charge of the district water. Name Amber.
Amber Ashford.
Yeah, Amber Ashford, and she presented me, and this is actually for the whole club, with a glass. And it says on it, optimism half full, pessimist half empty, Rotarian clean and drinkable. And it's a little difficult to see, but there's actually a Rotary emblem floating inside the
Always.
yeah, what looks like water there.
Oh,
And
wait.
we also got a nice handwritten thank you from we donated last year. We're going to donate. Well, we did donate again for this year to the district. So
Thank you.
there's anything else? We can go ahead and
Hey.
close the
Will, you
meeting.
want to help us do the closeout? Will, you want to help us do the closeout?
Yeah, I can hear you. I just can't mute. I was mute. Okay. The four-way test of the things that we think, do, and say. First, is it the truth?
truth?
Is it fair?
fair to all
All
concerned?
concerned.
Will it build
Build
goodwill
goodwill
and
and
better
better
friendship?
friendships.
Will it be
And can it be
beneficial?
beneficial to
Beneficial
all
to all
concerned?
concerned.
And it's fun.
Yeah, and it's fun.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Governor Becky.
Thank you, everybody.
Good to see you,
Once
Paul.
again, thank you,
Take care.
Becky. Good to see everyone.
Yeah.